Hey Gemini, welcome to 2020 January. New year, new decade, new us. We did it. And we're here. I'm just doing simple readings this month with my Mystic Mondays tarot deck. Um, yeah, I'm keeping it simple for us at the beginning of the year because I feel like it's going to be a big year and no need to overcomplicate it. We're just going to get some messages. Whoops. Pardon. Okay. Let's see what else. Whoa, too many. But the tower did come up. I'm going to talk about the tower. Alright, Gemini. Okay. We got the Fool. Love it. We got the tower. We got this Queen of Wands in reverse. We got this Ace of Cups in reverse. And we got the Princess of Pentacles. I mean, the Fool is a natural starting point as it's literally the new year. New us, new you. That's the first thing I said. There's just a new beginning. So it's kind of nice that it's like this clear cut start in January and in a new decade. And also that it really does feel related to this tower moment. And if you'll recall, when I pulled the tower initially, I was like, there's too many cards. So it's like, with this tower moment, I do feel like there's a much larger story behind it, like something that had kind of been building up for a while. But we don't need to know the specifics of what's led us here as much as I think it's important to acknowledge and accept that something ain't working, right? And you've probably known this for a long time. Again, like I said, a whole backstory to this, so like a long time coming. So I hope with the Fool being here and present in the upright position, it's like you're ready for it. You're like kind of like already on your way out. Like if the tower is falling, you've already vacated the building. And so this type of energy could be getting out of a relationship that wasn't working, getting out of a job that wasn't working. And honestly, Gemini, as I recall, for like most of 2019, it kind of just felt like you were wrestling with a lot of like, should I stay or should I go now questions, or like 2019 really felt like a year of you kind of grieving an old self almost. So this tower moment, although it may, yes, be playing out externally, it really ultimately feels like kind of the dismantling of old structures that lived in you. It's like all of that chaos and turmoil that you went through was really kind of like the waves going across the rock to make it smooth, or the pressure to make the diamond the diamond. So, I do feel like we're coming into the new year with this dismantling of these old ways of being for you, but that you are totally ready for it and that you're like just excited for the new beginning. So a lot of deep inner work has led to this new starting off point into the unknown. I mean, this is something I've been thinking about, is like the unknown, our culture treats it as such a scary fucking thing. Like maybe part of our fear of the unknown comes from like everyone else's anxiety. Like anxiety can rub off on us very easily because it's just like our survival instincts. It's like our brain. It's like, oh, those people are nervous. Well, what do I need to be nervous about, right? Like we're social creatures, we're empathetic, we're just on the alert. So, but the unknown is also really a place of like opportunity and of like excitement and of anything being possible. There's like a lot of like gifts in the unknown. The unknown can be exciting if we let it be. So I feel like part of this reading, and I'm going on a long time about these two cards, but it just feels very significant because this is where your starting off point is. And so I think my point is just like to let yourself be excited if you are, and that you don't need to, that your fear might be learned from the culture rather than an authentic expression of how you feel. Like you were maybe ready for this and you were ready to like take it wherever it goes next. It's kind of like um going on a road trip where you don't have like a very strict itinerary and you're kind of like going with the wind. Like that can be really fun and exciting because there's surprises, and like surprises make life interesting. So that's sort of where we're starting. And now we got these court cards, and neither of these are your energy as a sign. I mean, perhaps you carry these energies within you because we all carry a lot of shit with us. We got Princess of Pentacles and we got the Queen of Wands in reverse. So the Princess of Pentacles feels like, you know, this is career minded. And then Wands are more like creativity. So, I mean, maybe I'll clarify those. So let's do that. I'm not huge on the court cards. Okay, Seven of Cups. So, yeah, this does feel like maybe like a project or with that new beginning, especially with the Page and the Fool. It's like newness. So it's like kind of laying foundations for something. For me, Page of Pentacles is kind of like starting your own business and being in like the beginning stages of it. And the beginning stages are always the hardest. Because like someone told me like a airplane uses like 40% of its fuel just to take off. And I think about businesses like that, or creative projects, or whatever worth it like talking about. It's like a lot of energy needs to go into giving it momentum so that it kind of starts building its own life. That's the hardest part. It's like the persistence and the like not giving up on it. And the like showing up to plant the seeds every day, having the faith that the seeds will grow when you can't see them right away off the bat, and maybe for a while. And then the Queen of Wands being in reverse, it feels like you have like all these creative ideas that are kind of like fueling whatever it is that you're building, but that you're just not fully trusting your own competency, really, because we got a queen. And that means that you are really good. That means like that you got it. You have a very strong internal sense of like creatively what you want to say, but maybe you're just getting a little bit in your head as an air sign, especially as a Gemini. Oh my god, you can like see just too much, like it just feels very overthinky. It's like you have these creative impulses and then you're like, oh, but is that the message I want to send? Like, what am I? It's like, just say something and then learn, like, get feedback. My whole 2020 thing for myself is quantity over quality. Even like with these YouTube videos, right? Like, for me, not a lot of people, I mean, I don't want to discount you for watching because, like, thank you for watching. But, like, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, and people who do YouTube like to get attention on the internet, and I'm no different, right? So it's like, what is my point? My point is like, I do this because I like it and because I hope I'm connecting with you. But I could get in my head about it because, like, there are people with, like, 100,000 followers who book a lot of readings, and, like, that sounds very nice. And that's not something I presently have. But, so, like, this is what I'm saying to you. I'm making it about me. I think that I'm pretty decent at these readings, at least. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on tarot YouTube videos, and I do this out of my heart, and because I like connecting with people, and because I like giving these messages, and because, like, I feel connected to this work, right? So to me, it doesn't matter how many people, it just matters that there is someone. But I just told you quantity over quality. I mean in terms of my output. I mean just, like, for you as a Gemini, specifically, don't get in your head about how many people or the public perception of your work and what you're doing. Just do it. Like, trust yourself. Trust your own quality is good enough that you can start focusing on quantity. I'm just delivering the messages that come, because I also pulled the Seven of Cups, and this just feels like the fantasy. This is like not being sure. This is like not feeling committed to things. And so we are just talking for you, Gemini, about, like, the dismantling of these old structures and then the building of something new. And then with the Seven of Cups, it feels very hazy, very, like, foggy, very confusing. Kind of like the question is, like, am I doing it right? Am I doing the right steps? Is this good enough? Should I keep going? And we talked about planting seeds, right? And this is all related to this Queen of Wands in reverse, honestly. This Queen of Wands in reverse is, like, really what I'm picking up on. It's, like, don't doubt yourself so much. Don't judge or evaluate your success by these kind of arbitrary measures that we have, like view counts, for example, as I was going on about. Because that can, like, derail you, I think. And that's what the Seven of Cups is to me. The Seven of Cups is, like, focusing on all these elements of your progress that are actually kind of illusions. View counts, to me, are somewhat illusions. They could all be bots. I think that's something we forget about, like, when we're creating any kind of art or any kind of message. It's like we're looking for, like, some kind of external feedback. But what's most important is, like, doing the work is the work is the work, and the persistence and the continuing only makes you better. And that's why I, again, say quantity over quality. I don't mean quantity in terms of, like, what other people, I mean quantity in terms of what you do, because the more you do, the more you get better at what you do, and the more you might come across a really good message or idea that you do have to share, and then that's what continues to resonate and is the gift that you're giving people. So Seven of Cups, it's just, like, basically Gemini, kind of like, gotta trust yourself that you know what you're doing and that it is unfolding. It is an unfolding process, and just don't get dissuaded or disillusioned by mirages in the desert as you move towards your oasis. Something like that. Okay, I also got the Ace of Cups in reverse. And I'm going to clarify it. That's what I'm doing right now. Because it feels a little bit like, oh, interesting. Kind of a lot, but I'll just do, okay, we got, okay, Eight of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Princess of Swords, and Three of Swords in reverse. So, honestly, this kind of feels like love, or it could just be new friends, like a new friend group, but definitely connection, emotional connection, and like a sense of like wanting to belong, and a sense of like wanting to connect, because we got the Wheel of Fortune, and this feels like everything's changing. So, as I've been talking about, we have this new beginning. So, like, maybe this is you being in a new place, like, literally. And this is, like, the vulnerability that comes with those new beginnings and those big changes. And, like, the Eight of Wands is, like, everything moving very quickly. And, so with the Eight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, it's, like, huge ass fucking changes and shifts. Very big. Like, I don't really know what's going on for you, Gemini, in terms of the specifics of how this will play out, and maybe you'd like to let me know in the comments, because I would be interested to know what's going on with you, specifically. But, in terms of navigating the energy that's at play, it does feel like you really let go of some big shit that's, like, now your life is, like, it's like what I said with the new paradigm of, like, with the Fool in the Tower, very big new beginning. So this feels like maybe it is you starting your own business, and then maybe that business is like kind of taking off, and maybe that feels a little overwhelming about like how you connect with your audience or keep up with it or that kind of thing, or a new work environment. How do you connect with the people at work, or a new relationship? It's moving pretty quickly. You're getting caught up in it. Like, that's sort of this energy. It's like being swept away and caught off guard. And then with this Three of Swords in reverse, this just feels like past energy, and this just feels like your fears and worries, and that this is why this is in reverse. This is just like the old shit that you left behind in this Tower moment. Kind of like you haven't fully, seen evidence that life isn't always going to be this way, or that this pattern is truly over. So this feels like just like a little bit of like you keeping up a little bit of a wall as this big change and this big like energy occurs for you, because it's like a little guardedness. It's a little overwhelming, and so you become a little bit more guarded because we've all like had some heartbreak in our pasts. So honestly, Gemini, I feel like it's your reading. Huge, big, new beginnings that had a lot to do with like kind of dismantling your own self-sabotage-y blocks in one way or another, and not trusting yourself in your new process, and not getting caught up in like, the need for immediate results, or the need to do things a certain way, but to like trust your own guidance, and to kind of like know that your creative ideas are worthwhile, and that whatever like disillusionment or fog is involved in the new beginning is just part of you learning, and that emotionally things are moving very quickly, and so this might be a little bit overwhelming, but it's in the past, whatever the bad shit is, and you're really moving on to like beautiful new beginnings. So it's like you're just kind of feeling a little. Oh, and we got the Princess of Swords too. So the Princess of Swords is you. It's you, it's mental energy, it's air. It's like it's just sort of like you do know how to do this, Gemini. You do. It's kind of like, honestly, it's a little bit like stepping up into your calling and allowing yourself, being generous with yourself as you work out the kinks. Even though this is your calling, and even though this is like going to move and change and like shift your life very quickly, you are still allowed to make mistakes, you were still allowed to be a little overwhelmed, and you're still allowed to um learn as you go. Yes, this is what you're meant to be doing. Yes, this new beginning is your destiny in a way, but even your destiny, it's like Luke Skywalker still sucked at using the Force when he first learned how to use the Force. And then he got pretty good at it, you know what I mean? It's like, just because there's you're not a perfect master right away, and there's a little bit of this, doesn't mean that it is not actually happening very quickly. And also, don't get overwhelmed by that either. Your life's changing, and you don't need to be perfect at it, but you're doing great. And that's pretty much your reading. So, I love you. Like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I do offer personal readings, and I will continue this channel in one way or another. I'm going to see how that plays out for me on my end, but I love you, and I'll see you again somehow soon. So bye.